The Federal Reserve is a monetary system built on the pillars of inflation, debt, and wealth reallocation. Did you know the Federal Reserve is not an agency of the federal government, but rather a privately owned central banking system operating around the world, run by the banking elite? This is the shadow of power operating the matrix. It's not a government-controlled system and is beholden only unto itself. There is no other agency of government which can overrule actions taken by the Federal Reserve.
From the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law.
This money is not drawn from the Treasury.
We can always print money.
This shows you who's in charge. This Federal Reserve, which is not federal and has no reserves, has printing machines. They control and impact our economy unlike any other establishment through inflation, debt, and wealth reallocation. Allow me to explain. The pillar of inflation. Inflation acts as a hidden tax on the people, eroding currency value and diminishing purchasing power, forcing individuals into a constant battle to preserve their capital. Since 1913, inflation has led to a more than 96% decline in the dollar's value. Every newly printed dollar siphons wealth from the existing money supply. The pillar of debt. Money is created through debt via loans, which are backed by a bank's reserves. Reserves that originate from customer deposits. This system, known as fractional reserve banking, operates worldwide, allowing banks to hold only a fraction of their deposit liabilities in liquid assets, while lending out the rest. A single deposit can generate up to 9 times its original value, inflating the money supply and devaluing existing currency, leading to rising prices across society. People are compelled to compete for labor, struggling to extract enough money from circulation to meet the cost of living. The pillar of wealth reallocation. When taking out a loan or mortgage from a bank, the interest owed makes sure that the total debt is always greater than the amount of money in circulation. This is why inflation never goes away. Defaults and bankruptcies are not anomalies, but are inherent to this system, facilitating a continuous transfer of wealth from the people to the banks, especially when a home is seized after a mortgage payment default. Due to fractional reserve banking, defaults are inevitable. Moreover, the money loaned to you never truly existed beforehand. It was not the bank's property, but was created out of nothing the moment you signed the loan agreement. Now, this goes even deeper, which I'm not going to get into in this video. If you want to go even deeper, I have a video called the SUSQV Trust, and this is a whole shadow operation of our financial system that you can look into. I'll put it at the end of this video. Let's take a deeper look into what a mortgage actually is. When you take out a loan, the bank isn't lending you money it actually owns. Instead, it creates new money out of thin air by exchanging your promise to repay for newly made bank credits. This bank's reserves don't change, but the total amount of money in the system increases. Since the banks didn't have the money as its own property before the loan, what it gives you is essentially created from nothing. This means the money you receive isn't truly legitimate, and in reality, the contract to repay is questionable at its core. In 1969, there was a court case in Minnesota between Jerome Daley and his banking institution, challenging the foreclosure of his home by the bank which provided the loan to purchase the home. Jerome argued that the mortgage contract required both parties, himself and the bank, to put up a legitimate form of property for the exchange. This is called a consideration. This legal terminology states that a contract is founded on an exchange of one form of consideration for another. Jerome explained that the money was not the property of the bank, for it was created out of nothing as soon as the loan agreement was signed. The money did not come out of the bank's existing assets. The bank simply invented it, putting up nothing of its own, except for theoretical liability on paper. The bank's president, Mr. Morgan, took the stand and admitted that no United States law or statute existed which gave him the right to do this. A lawful consideration must exist and be tendered to support the note. The jury found that there was no lawful consideration, with the judge stating that only God can create something of value out of nothing. The court rejected the bank's claim for foreclosure, and Jerome kept his home. The money given is counterfeit and is an illegitimate form of consideration and voids the contract to repay, for the bank never had the money as property in the first place. With this knowledge, mortgage contracts can be lawfully challenged and potentially dissolved. Interested in learning more hidden secrets of the financial system? Watch my SESC-QV Trust video and learn to exit the matrix by becoming self-governed, and a video on the El Salvadorian president hinting to the SESC-QV Trust. I will see you all in the next video.